So answer this out loud. Is my Sims account setting me up for success when I take a live trade? Is my Sims account setting me up for success when I take a live trade? I often see big positions and, different things taken in the Sims account. And there's one tweak, really simple tweak that you can make that will help set you up for success when you take your live trade. And that is actually reducing your balance. Now, somebody's going to say, reduce my balance, your cash balance, reduce it. No, I'm gonna dream big and I'm gonna go in here and I want to buy 100 contracts. But would you actually do that in a live trade? If you would, fine. If you wouldn't, that is one thing that could be hindering you when you actually start pushing those buttons with your live money. And we also always remember there's always a hunt for liquidity, right? And so we are high probability traders and investors. And so we want to be mindful of the trades that we take, right? We want to be following our set of guidelines. But in that, as we are practicing, because you want to go into the Sims account and try different strategies and test your theories. And, you want to do that. That's going to get you more comfortable with taking those live trades. And then even if you're comfortable taking live trades, still practicing in the Sims is all it's doing is sharpening your skills. So if you hear others online and they're like, well, using, paper money, that's not your real money. Of course it's not. It's not. It's just like if you manage a company, or you are managing a grant or whatever, and you are managing somebody else's money, right? Some other funding source. But we have to treat it like when I work for an organization, I treat it like it's mine, right? I'm going to show up and I'm going to do my best. When we are in, when we are trading, we are treating it like a business. And when we are executing in our Sims account, we're going to set ourselves up for success by mimicking what we would actually trade. And so I'm going to share my screen shortly, but just thinking about it like this. If you was going to trade with $1,000, $5,000, $10,000, $100,000, $25. When you go on your Sims account, you want to mimic that so that those disciplines, that habits, what you leverage, those things translate to when you do trade, take live trades like this in your real account. All right, so let me go ahead and share my screen. And I am Denisha on a mission, simplifying this trading journey. This is not financial advice. This is literally a tool to help you on your journey. So I'm going to share my screen now. And I am one, I am somebody that will dream really big. I have worked with some clients. I help them create their own ideas. And I'm really big on the dreaming big, but then like the practical side of it and how do we break those steps down to, and even in our personal life, what does that look like for us to accomplish these bigger goals? So, and when it comes to trading, I don't want to be in some fantasy world. It already seems like you stepping in like a matrix. I don't want to be in that when I'm doing this. I want to have a system. I want to treat it like a business. And I want to use my Sims to be able to test and to sharpen and to continue to get better at this, right? Be better, do better, all that. So anyway, so now depending on when you open up your desktop version, and I will also talk about how to do it in the web version. When you go in, depending on your default settings, it could be set on any screen. But just remember to go to the very top bar menu and you're going to look for monitor. You're going to come down to position statement and you're going to scroll, well, not scroll, but go over to adjust account. Now, under adjust accounts, you have account margin type. So you're going to have margin no change, IRA, and you're going to have portfolio margin. So under the margin no change, you're going to see set amount cash to, well, set account cash, right? And so here is where you're going to change the figure. So maybe you want to do $25,000. And then If you decide to select this button, it's going to change all of them. Don't select that. Because the thing about being in your Sims account, you also have IRA. And I'll read the first sentence. This will change the margining type used for this demo account from margin to IRA. Changing the margin type of this account will affect the margin requirements. So there's still strategies and things you're going to try that you will want to use margin. Maybe it's a longer term investment and the list goes on. But so don't change the IRA and don't change the portfolio margin unless you know that that is how you want to set it up. But for now, we just want to change the margin type and go to set a cash amount. Is the cash amount that we want to change and hit apply. So now if you notice under the balances, you see cash and sweep vehicle $25,000 from the 100-ish that it was already. Now it still maintains these other figures here based off of what I've already done in the Sims account. But that is the key. And that's the simple tweak. Like I can end the video right now. Okay, that's all you have to do. And now it's gonna just help you match it closer to that. You really don't want to make it any smaller than that, but now your buying power is going to change. Now you're going to be able to think, okay, do I really want to buy this vertical that now I have to leverage 50,000? It's not going to let you, right? It's going to help you just build that discipline. So I'll go over the web version. So in the web version of Thinkorswim, all you have to do is go to the side panel that actually you can see your balances, and right above cash balance is going to be a reset. You just have to select reset, and then that is going to allow you to enter in what you want that cash value to be. And so I'm actually going to share my screen again. Let me share my screen. And so as we are navigating Thinkorswim, as we are navigating trading, we want to just be thinking about, okay, what is going to help set us up for success? And one of the simplest ways was just going again to monitors, position statement, adjust account, and changing it here. And again, remember, just change the margin type, no change, and set that to this. Now, keep in mind, if you are utilizing the web version, sometimes it lags a little. So it may not show up immediately with the new cash value. And so you can change it there or just refresh it and it should do it soon. So when we think about the different strategies that we're going to be taking, it's going to help us know what to leverage. So in my live account, if I would have only leveraged $1,000 for this particular trade, then only leverage that $1,000 in your Sims account. If you know that you may want to do a vertical credit spread and you want to buy 100 contracts, wonderful. Like there's times where I go into my Sims account and I will do larger trades that I may not do on my live account because I want to test. I want to see what actually happened. I actually am getting myself prepared for when I do those larger trades, right? However, if I'm going to simulate it to what I would actually trade. And it's not thinking small. It is not, it's none of that. Just no, don't let anybody catch you up in thoughts on how you do this trading because this comes down to you and your money, you and your time, you and the effort that you're putting into this. This is about you and what you do with this. So don't let anybody else influence you, and so we want to be mindful of that. And so if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. But just think about it, right? High probability trades, we're going to be thinking about our risk. We're going to be thinking about our percentages. We're going to think about how are we exposing our capital, right? We're also going to be thinking about how do we trade another day? We're not just thinking about profit. Yes, we want to profit, but to get to the profit, we have to set these boundaries in place and set ourselves up with success with these tools so that we can make informed decisions, right? So if I have this $100,000 account and I'm risking $500, that right there is no emotion behind it, right? It's no emotion behind it. However, if I have my $3,000 account and I risk 500, right? Now I've leveraged too much according to me, right? Like, so you might have to think, okay, I'm gonna leverage 10%, maybe it's $300. I'm going to, risk 5%, whatever your goal is, because my thing is about compounding over time. So as you are navigating, think about what makes sense to you versus what is fantasy trading, what is real trading, what is real investing, what does that mean to you? Because the same trade that you take feels completely different. And nothing, let me stop sharing. Let me get real close. There is nothing like using your own money, investing your own money, leveraging your own money. There is nothing like it, right? We can say all day we're going to trade in the Sims, and no, it's never going to be the same. However, it's working on you. It's giving you that discipline. It's giving you the insight. It's giving you're learning. Okay, if I leverage, so for instance, if you want to do a vertical or you want to do something where you have to leverage $60,000, but only to make like 1%, that was not worth it. And you have to be like, you have to think about that. Now, if leveraging that 60,000 gave you a 10% return, you might be okay with that. You might not because you say, okay, well, I can get this 10% return with this strategy. I can get 5% return with this strategy and leverage way less. We don't want our capital to be exposed like that, right? I don't. And so I've learned these last 2 years like a lot in a short amount of time because of my testing and even thinking about, moves I made. I'm like, man, I could have just did XYZ and not even had, right? So now you just continue to get wiser. And when I first came in and I'm seeing these larger accounts, I'm like, it was already to me to change it. And there wasn't a video created or anything like that, which it may or it may not be. And so I found out how to change it and changed it. And it literally has been a game changer with me on learning and learning fast, being able to really see what would happen, see what, oh, it's also saying, oh man, if I would have leveraged this $3,000 and I would have did this, that was an emotional decision. That was not a high probability trade, even if I thought it was, right? That I might have took a B trade, a C trade, right? I might have, been thinking about emotions and not even processing, just wanting to get in. And so I'm just sharing that with you because we all have these different thoughts and emotions. And it's really for me about working on it every day and making sure that I'm mindful of things and I'm setting myself up for success with tools that can help me. Um, and so if I have my account at a set number, then that's all I could trade with, right? Right. And then if I want to change it, I'll change it. If I want to reset it, I'll reset it. This is your journey. This is what you're doing. Congratulations. And you got it. Right. And I always say, you got it. Why? Because God's got you. And so, and now you've been introduced to this. So, on your trading journey, we are going to see and position ourselves in the market, but we're going to be a solution in the marketplace. So if you have a question, anything, comment below. I'm Denisha on a mission. And I'm going to do that one more time. I want to make sure that you really heard that. We're going to position ourselves in the market, right? Because it's easy to go in here and chase, right? So we're going to position ourselves in the market and then we're going to be a solution in the marketplace. All right. I'll talk to you later.